Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is episode 300. And don't give me the lion. All right. And that was episode 313, 312, something like that. It's Tuesday, July. It's Tuesday, June the 22nd, 2021. At the time of this recording, ladies and gentlemen, please forgive me. you know. But today we are going to talk about leadership, delegation. We're going to touch on the subject. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are the leader of the band. Okay, you are running a business. All right, now it is cool for people to say, "Hey, I do everything." It's great for people to say all that, but when you become bigger, when you get, you want to become more efficient. You want to save some time. You start passing things down to people, and now you want to find people that you can trust. You want to find people that you can work with. You want to find people that understand your goal, your journey, your destiny. You want to find these kind of people. How do you find those people? Sometimes you already have them in your life. Sometimes you might have to go to a website, and find them. Sometimes you might meet them on the internet. Well, I just said website, but there's plenty of different ways to find these people. But the one thing I will tell you when it comes to being a leader and save, because and the reason why I bring this up today is because I remember a long time ago, not a long time ago, but a couple years ago, I read the book The 4 Hour Work Week. It was a good book by Timothy Ferriss. Okay, now a lot of people think, hey, work 4 hours, but it's not. A lot of the book was not about that to me. A lot of the book was about automation. A lot of the book was about letting other people do the smaller tasks, and that's very important because there are some things. I give you an example. Something that's small, something that's minute, but something that's important. Okay. I record this episode on a daily basis. I had to come up with a title, had to come up with a description. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not the greatest at this stuff, at especially when it's every day. You have to come up with something every day. And it's like, what am I going to come up with? Because you want people to click on it. You want people to see it. You want to give some curiosity too, is, with the headlines and everything. So if you have somebody who's in charge of that, you could record and then you could pass it on to them and then they could figure all that stuff out. They can write this long, detailed note because sometimes, I don't know if you look through the notes, sometimes they're very short, sometimes they're a little longer, and sometimes it's just like, hey, enjoy the podcast. All right, okay. But this is, when I grow the outfit, grow the company, grow the podcast even bigger, I can have somebody do the show notes. I can have somebody implement, commercials and all this kind of stuff when we get more sponsorship, all this stuff, you delegate it. The reason why you want to delegate it is because it's hard enough to record a show. It's hard enough producing content. And then you can save yourself every week, you can save yourself an hour or 2 hours, to that way you can be thinking about more content you can produce. And a lot of times you want to delegate, you want to be a leader and pass things on to people, not because you're lazy or anything like that, just because you can save yourself some time, and that way you can be worried about the most important things, which is producing the content. Little things like, let's say you have a website and you're not that great at website, keeping up with the website. You could pay somebody money to do this, delegate, boom, pass it off to them. They in charge of that. Of course you check on it, you make sure everything's up to snuff, but for the most part, you pass it to them. They do all the looking, they do all the fixing, and then you can sit there and relax, and not worry about it. All right. And this is part of leadership. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to know everything. The most important thing is you have to know your strengths, and you have to know your weakness. You have to know what you're good at, what you're not good at. You have to know what you could pass on to somebody and what you don't need to pass on to somebody. Okay? This is the whole point about being a leader. A leader is not about dictating. It's not about running the show. It's not about beating your chest and saying, "Hey, I'm the man." It's not about that. It's about you delegating. It's about you regulating the situation. It's about you figuring things out, figuring out what you're good at, and it's about save yourself some time so you can, produce more products, produce more content. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, when you do start to get, let's say you get an assistant, virtual assistant. You get one person, you get two people, you start to build this thing out a little bit. And you're like, hey, don't think you have to do it all the time. It's 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 because listen, in the beginning, of course, you have in the beginning, the budget might not be high, so you definitely got to do a lot more things than than the next person. But once you start to grow, you find more people to do the stuff that you could just pass off, and it helps a lot. So keep this in mind. Don't feel like I had to do it all, because that will definitely help you burn out even faster than what could happen. So you do not want to get burnt out. You do not want that. You do not want that at all. Listen, when you get burnt out of something, it is an ugly sight. You do not want that. But definitely be a leader. Definitely delegate. Save yourself some time, and you should check out the 4-hour work week, because it's not about, a lot of people, they got all excited because they're like, "Ooh, I could work 4 hours a day." No, it's not about that. It's about, it was about automation. It was about regulating. It was about delegating. It was a lot of things that way you can have more time to create stuff. You can have more time for your family. Maybe you can have more time to do other things that you want to do. Like, I would love to. I can't wait to produce the podcast and then pass it off to somebody. They can edit, they can cut, they can do the notes, they can do it all. You know why? Because I would love to go hit golf balls. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I would love that. It'd be great. So I look forward to that, and you should look forward to, because you know the hustle culture will fool you, and you'll be thinking, I need to hustle, hustle, hustle. No, you need to take it easy. Sometimes you gotta relax. I tell my wife this, but then I don't know how. Sometimes I don't know how to relax myself. So, you know, we all need to take a deep breath every now and then. We all need to relax. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that's it for the podcast. All right. We'll be back tomorrow with an all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizano. It's Tony, Resonno. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.